welcome back everyone to Help We're Stuck in a Box. This episode is going to be pretty much different than the last four. We are having some rearranging of who will be on the podcast. So we're just going to get straight into it. I'm here with my buddy Luke. Luke, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Donuts. I play video games and lacrosse, so I'm a pretty cool guy, I would say so myself. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. That's your whole story. Your whole
Yeah,
life summed up into a couple sentences.
yeah, basically. There's not much to me.
Luke does Twitch and also has a YouTube channel, which I will put in the description below if you would like to check it out.
Yeah, right now it doesn't have any videos though. Kind of deleted it all because I'm gonna rebrand it.
Yeah, but Twitch, you still post pretty actively, you know.
Yeah,
I'd say a couple times a week, depending on schedules,
yep, I do got a life. I do got a life.
So, let's just start off with how's your day been?
Pretty slow, I kind of had a lacrosse game yesterday. I had two games actually.
Did you win those at least?
Yeah. So one was a JV game, so technically, okay. So how it works by me, we don't have a JV team because we don't have enough players. So they just I can't remember what they put it as. So it doesn't count as a schedule. So my coach wanted me to play goalie for the JV game.
Okay.
So I was and it was pretty dang hot out. It was hot. So then after that, I left first half, went into the locker room, getting ready for the varsity game, gearing up. We kind of smoked them pretty dang bad. Then I kind of got home, then took a nap, woke up, went to bed again, and woke up at 2 today. I woke up at 2, so I didn't really do anything.
I wish.
So it's pretty slow, boring, but it was good. How about you?
Fairly decent. So, woke up initially an hour before my shift, and then I fell back asleep by accident. Until it was 12 or so minutes before my shift. Rushed together. Um, my wonderful girlfriend did call me to make sure I was up and everything, and then I just passed back out again. So fault of my own, but I did make it to work only a minute late, so that wasn't bad. Was there from 11 to 7 today, and just figured out a little bit more scheduling shit. Basically, I'm changing my schedule from doing Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, where I do Tuesday and Friday nights and then Sunday all day, to
Dang.
doing 10 to 5s on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That way I'm getting 21 hours a week and everything, and 42 hours on each paycheck, which isn't the best. I could always work more hours, but I'm trying to not fucking destroy myself with work for the time being.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
But was able to talk at work with one of the new workers there. Her name's Jess. Me, Johnny, and Nito were all talking about minimum wage and college and all this shit. So it's always interesting to talk kind of politics type talking. Because, my stance is I don't think minimum wage should be $15 because that's anti-small business, because small business can't pay, or most small businesses can't pay their workers, $15 an hour and have multiple workers. But,
I would say it's based off the business. So if it's a McDonald's or something, then yeah, that's reasonable. But small businesses like your your local pizza shop or something shouldn't have to pay that.
Right. And so I personally know, I've heard my managers complain about it before, that our labor was too high, and that means that the people that we pay the most either go on breaks more often or leave work earlier, or just sometimes don't show up because our labor's too high. And so with the majority of each of the raises that go through, sometimes they'll be like, well, our labor's too high, we need to send 3 people on break at a time. Because our labor's too high, because these people are all getting paid 12 something an hour. And so I know that at one point in the winter, they're labor's too high, who wants to go home from work 4 hours early?
Damn.
And I was like, geez, I'll take it. Because
I want to be complaining, leaving out work 4 hours early.
I was gonna say that was a good night for me, But it's always fun to like talk politics at work because I've got some coworkers that lean more Republican and some that lean more Democrat. And then there's like a few simple ones that all kind of like share that same like middle ground like I do, where it's not really affiliating with a party. It's more of just trying to listen to the facts and then compare them to how the situation happened and everything.
Yeah, I feel that.
So we don't need to be talking politics on this episode as like a entry.
Yeah, I also don't want to talk politics with my stream, like, 'cause I don't want like my streams knowing what I think and stuff.
No,
It's, you know,
that makes perfect sense. I understand that like politics and religion, and some views like that are very private for a lot of people,
yeah.
and that makes full sense to me because those are things that people will argue with you about and yell at you for shit.
At least everyone has to have an opinion on it or everything. So
Right, right. So I wanted to personally talk about the Josh fight. If you heard of that.
I don't think I've heard of it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So a fight happened. I believe it was the beginning of this month.
Okay.
Um, that was planned for over a year. So last year in April or so or March, one guy created a group chat with because his name was Josh, and then he created a group chat of himself and like 11 other people that were all named Josh. Like I think it was also the same exact like last name too. And he said, you know, he goes, I think you all know why I called you here. And one of the guys was like, is it because we all have the same name? And he was like, yes, we'll fight at this place at this time next year, and the winner of the fight gets to keep the name. And so recently, the Josh fight happened, and it was crazy. It was like hundreds of guys, hundreds of people showing up and fighting each other with like pool noodles and stuff. But it was like kind of like a cool thing because after Corona of like the whole lockdown of people just being so afraid to be near
Yeah,
each
and
other.
then everyone just coming together, being near each other, having fun for a
Right,
little joke,
right. And so this
That's
little
awesome
this
to hear.
little boy Josh won, and he was crowned king of all Joshes, which was pretty cool.
That's funny. That's actually a good thing to hear. I love hearing that.
I know it
Like,
was something like super
what?
positive, and I was like, this is awesome. Like something that people are gonna come together about and celebrate. And
Like little stories like that make like everything better,
right,
make everything
right.
positive.
So I thought that was like a really cool like piece of news that I had learned recently. I was like, it's just something so wholesome too about it, you know?
Yeah, like stories like that, like just make like everything better. Like just makes you think of where everything's like, why not just be a little bit more relaxed and stuff on stuff. You don't have to overthink it. Just joke around, like
Right.
just
Have
joking about a
fun with
name,
life.
saying, yeah, this guy's the best Josh. Like no Josh is
He
gonna be
is the
better
king
than
of
this
all
guy.
Josh. You know what?
That's
I'm completely fine with that. Like I thought that was like awesome. I think that more news should be spread around this kind of like positivity than focusing on bad news all the time.
and we look at positive, negative stuff way too much.
Yeah. Which I'm sure later on in this podcast we'll most likely talk about something negative, like along the lines of whatever. But
Yeah, knowing us probably.
yeah, but yeah, I think it's cool how much positive stuff's been starting to try and come up and surface recently, like especially with the whole like iCarly revival. If you've heard of that,
Yeah, I did, which is actually kind of crazy.
yeah,
Like
like
I can't like that show is so old.
I loved that show too, which I thought it was kind of funny because like I recently have learned theories that are not really theories because they all connect and it makes sense that since there was an episode of Victorious that claimed that they were recording the show Victorious, and they did like a little mock interview and everything, but Victorious is connected to iCarly, Drake and Josh, like a couple of different other shows, and so it makes it proves that all the shows in that like little era were just shows like in their own like timeline, I
Just
guess. You know?
just showing like what like people live on, but like not actually live like about. Just like
Right. And so the
showing a kid's life basically
yeah.
on
Yeah,
what they imagine things.
this new show comes out June 17th. That's the premiere date. It's on Paramount for people that want to go watch it. And it's funny because I watched a video over like how the set has changed so it can be more modern and everything, and they had someone recreate the entire like soda bottle robot that was in the background, and they brought back some of the different props, and they changed how like the kitchen looks and everything. But it's funny because when you look at the picture of the cast where they're holding the iCarly premiere, like little card, um, as far as I know, they didn't bring back, Sam or Gibby,
I mean, they're kind of old now.
right? And it makes sense, but like, it's funny to see Cosgrove and everyone else like change so much. But then there's Jerry Trainer, and he has not aged a day since the show stopped filming. He sounds the exact same, looks the exact same, acts the exact same.
See,
I love
I don't
that.
know if I would want that to happen to me, or just like I don't know because like I feel like I like growing up at the same time I don't, like I don't know, like I like living a childhood, but at the same time there's a point where of me where I just like want to get out of my childhood, like change is like sometimes good, but like also sometimes bad. Depends on like the way you look at it.
It's how you deal with it too, because there's some people that will get out of high school and act the same way for so long because they don't want change, so they refuse to change.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, I was growing up. I was the biggest fan of Jesse. Like that show, I fucking loved it.
That was a good
It
show
was,
too.
it was such a good show.
And it's crazy how many shows are starting to be like revived like that, because I know that Ned's Declassified, the actors of Ned, Cookie, and Mose, brought the idea of reviving the show and turning it into more of a thing for, adults, and saying like, oh, here's taxes, toxic relationships, breakups, all that kind of thing for, as the main actor said, for a generation that needs a friend. Um, and so they brought it up to the original creators of the show, and they loved it. So since they don't own the rights, they brought it to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon sadly denied it. And they said, we don't want to do that. And they won't allow them to sell that show, or like the idea for that show, to any other brand, any other place.
Wow,
So for
that's
time
dumb.
being, we don't have a revival of Ned's Declassified like we all want. And now some people are saying, oh, like why don't you, take the idea but change the names of people and like the title of the show and blah blah blah. But that's bordering on copyright infringement, and knowing a big name corporation like Nickelodeon,
Can win the
they
lawsuit.
will
And
sue
like,
and they will win.
yeah.
And no one's going to be dumb enough to try and take that battle. Like, look at Soldier Boy. He was making his own, in parentheses, in like air quotes, his own gaming consoles, where it was basically ripoffs of, the PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Game Boy, like down to a T. And so Nintendo ended up fucking suing his ass.
I heard. Did you also hear that he's making a gaming company too?
Yeah. Like
Like that.
he can't stop.
Like that. I feel like it. Not gonna lie, if he actually makes a gaming company, anyone that joins that org is gonna get so much clout for it.
Yeah.
He's one. It's a big rapper name. That it's like the first rapper ever to make a gaming org. So that's gonna be huge, and that means gaming is gonna like blow up even more
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how celebrities can kind of just make their own brand.
just because of their name.
Right. Because look at Gwyneth Paltrow. She has her Goop brand, where it's a, in quotes again, health and wellness company, and it's based off of pseudoscience, which is fake science. It's and scientists have been like, please do not, believe that these things that she's selling to you will help, because they
So
most
bad.
likely won't.
It'll make it worse.
Yeah, and so like that, her company is crazy. Like if you look at her company, Goop, she has, like they will sell sweaters, and those will be like, $500, and they don't look good. It's just the brand name. They basically sell everything from clothing and like food products to vibrators,
Oh,
to stickers that are tuned to a specific hertz, which doesn't make any sense. because they're
Huh?
saying that they invented a technology to tune stickers to a specific hertz so it would affect your mood, which for
That doesn't
people
make sense.
for people that don't know, that's not possible with the technology we have, and undoubtedly they did not create a technology that would make this product. Um, they sell a bunch of different like oils and everything, and it's just it's it's crazy. If you haven't seen John Tron's video on Goop, sorry, two videos on Goop because they're that ridiculous, I highly check it out because Goop also has a show on Netflix, which is a god awful look into how the company is. Like it's bad.
You know what? Okay, back to the conversation about how that one show wanted to make an adult version.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
a
know
classic though.
SpongeBob was supposed to be an adult show?
Yeah, it's based off the seven deadly sins.
Yeah, like hearing that is kind of weird, like because like how SpongeBob is now, like you wouldn't imagine it being like that.
Right, it's crazy to learn because you see how made for kids it is. Like so tuned in to suit kids, but the original
That
idea was more towards adults. And like if you take the motives behind episodes and the message they're trying to convey, it still is for adults, you know? Kind of like how Disney makes their movies that they look like they're for kids, but the message is for the adults watching the movies. And it's crazy to learn that since it was originally made for adults, they had to adapt everything and change it for a kid show.
that must have taken them a long time to do because they probably had the concept and everything about like kids,
Yeah,
like I mean adults, and then like out of nowhere they just had to like just change it all.
it's crazy. Like it's honestly amazing too because it just shows you that you have this one idea and you can change it to fit a completely different perspective. You know,
But I'm not complaining. I like SpongeBob. Good
it's a good
childhood
show.
show.
It's a good show. They did take down a couple episodes because they were deemed not appropriate anymore. I believe Hulu took them down. The Panty Raid episode I know was taken down for sure from Hulu.
I don't
Where
remember that episode.
Mr. Krabs, Patrick, and SpongeBob. It's basically Mr. Krabs feels like he's growing to be so old,
Oh, are you feeling
and
it, Mr. Krabs?
right, yeah, that's what it is. And so what they do at the end of that episode is they go on a panty raid, and it ends up being Mr. Krabs' mom's house. Um, and so he actually ends up raiding his mom's panties, like that kind of thing. And so they
Okay,
deemed
yeah,
that
I remember
unfit,
that.
which I guess for kids, if you're really trying to make it sound like it's unfit, it could be taken as the unfit way. But you can buy the whole collection on Amazon and everything, and it will keep that episode in.
You know what they should do, honestly? They should go back and make an adult version of SpongeBob.
Uh,
I would like,
Personally, I would watch that, yeah. But I think that the brand marketing behind it would not be the best.
yeah, but it'd be so good.
It would be very good. I do agree with that. It would be very, very good. Because I think like shows like that, especially, I really do want this as a classified, reboot to happen because I do think that would be a perfect example to, you know, format for a specific, age range. Specifically for people that are entering from high school status to, the rest of their life, where they may not know how to do taxes or how to deal with certain things. This would be the
It's
perfect
like
way to bridge that gap.
it's like Big Mouth,
Yeah, it's like Big
where,
Mouth.
where they make it like in talking about be like going through puberty and stuff, but like they make it funny, but in an inappropriate way that like teenagers and stuff like it will enjoy that, but will also learn at the same time.
Right, right. It's the message that they're conveying that's more important than what the show actually is.
That's such a good show, though. I love Big Mouth.
I've only seen the shortest bit of it, but like I
I
know a lot
recommend
of the
it.
premise behind it. I am going to watch it eventually. It is on my list, but my list does consist of like 70 different things on Netflix.
That's a, one show that I love and it's probably still gonna be my favorite is Rick and Morty.
I really
It's
like
like
Rick and Morty. I've not seen the latest season yet though. Is it on
the
Hulu?
stuff. Yes, it is.
Cool. I'll have to watch that eventually.
It's also on YouTube. It's always on YouTube.
That's true.
That's where I learned about it, is from YouTube.
It's just a generally good show. Like everything behind it's good. I love the way that he gets to voice Rick. Like he actually has to get drunk in the studio to voice
Yeah, but at
Rick.
the same time, I feel like that would get annoying.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's hell on his body, but I mean he's a method actor at that point.
It's like that one guy, that one Joker that like took the role so seriously that like, he like locked himself in like a tiny
Was
room
that
to
Heath
become like a
Ledger?
psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah, Heath Ledger was an amazing actor. It's sad that he has passed away. You
A lot of
know,
actors that passed away that are amazing sucks, like the Black Panther actor.
Chadwick
I'm
Boseman.
bad. Yeah, I'm bad with names, if you couldn't tell.
No, you're all good. I'm usually better with faces, but I know those specific ones and
Like I'm not gonna lie, he was a good actor. I didn't like Black Panther though. Like it wasn't like I don't know. I just couldn't really get into it.
hmm
A lot of people do like it, and props to them. They can like it.
I like it. But I do like the Marvel movies personally, and I know that like superhero films aren't for everyone. And I do think that it it was a weird turn because it was right in that middle where like the Gunn brothers were taking over the Marvel movies. So they made them more from, serious action, fighting and everything to more comedic action movies. Like they
Which
did
kind
with
of
Thor
blows.
Ragnarok.
So I like more like action, but like with comedy involved.
Right. I think it works for like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's like the perfect like example of how the action comedy could work because that little like they all agree that they're part of the same team, but they all still have their own like different hatreds for one another and everything. So I think that works perfectly for that. But I do think that now with the next phase and everything, I feel like it's going to start relying more and more on comedy, and it's not always going to be the best.
Which like kind of sucks because like if you think of like action movies or like Marvel movies, you think of the action, not the comedy. Like
Right.
no one's gonna go around and be like, "Oh, you guys remember this one joke?" Like the only joke that like I blatantly remember is like when Thor picked up uh uh God, what's his name, and started slamming him back and forth. Why I can't remember his name?
Oh, you mean Hulk smashing like Loki back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth on the
Hulk,
floor?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That like that's like the
that's a
only
classic
comedy
scene.
moment I can remember. But like other than that, I can't remember any comedy movie moments.
I do think it's going to be kind of interesting to watch this next phase go in because for people that know the comics, Thanos is nothing compared to most other villains in the Marvel universe. Like, if they really wanted to challenge the Avengers in the movies, they would bring in Galactus, who has shown time and time again, which, by the way, he's like 1,000 times the size of Thanos and millions times stronger.
He literally eats Earth for like
Yeah,
planets for a
he
living.
he feasts on planets to keep his energy. Like Galactus is one of the strongest characters in the entire Marvel universe. So the second that they bring him in, I feel like they're gonna have to try and bullshit some ending, unless they just decide to, in my opinion, what they should be doing, killing off the Avengers one by one.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't really do that until like okay, so like Spider-Man, like how he's part of the Avengers now, and like how he's just started like kind of like getting involved into that. Like I feel like they can't really do that just yet because there's a lot of new heroes involved in Avengers. But they
Well,
should like start killing off the old ones like Thor, Iron Man, like well Iron Man's like
yeah,
yeah. But like
it,
all the old Avengers and start rebranding with the new ones and like start doing that with the new ones, which would be nice and kind of cool to see.
yeah. See, I see that, but the thing is, once their contract's up, Marvel can do whatever the hell they want with them. And so that's what actually, happens in some of the movies. The contract's up, so they kill off the character. Or they retire the character, as some people will say about some of the characters that get a happy ending instead of dying. But eventually, after they connect the X-Men universe to the MCU, which they're planning on,
Which is gonna
um,
suck.
which they're also planning on bringing in the Fantastic Four universe, and if they bring in the X-Men universe, the Marvel universe, they both had their weird iterations of, Deadpool, but Deadpool will eventually be there, and Deadpool is unkillable, and I and I will fight that to a T. He cannot die. He was cursed by death so that he cannot, or no, cursed by Thanos so that he cannot die because him and Thanos fight over death because they both want to die.
One,
Fun little fact.
I didn't know that actually. That's a pretty dark, but good fact. Like that's like
Yeah,
really dark.
it's because
Holy.
in the comics, death is a hot bitch, and sorry, that sounds weird. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah, death is really
Deadpool,
hot. I love looking at
Deadpool
it.
wants to be with death, and so does Thanos. But if they kill themselves, they won't be with death, as far as I remember. And so Thanos curses Deadpool so that he may never die. Basically meaning that, and it's like proven in the comics, that if an atomic bomb were to go off, a single drop of Deadpool's blood would teleport to a safe location, and its entire body would regrow from that one single drop of blood, and his memories would stay the same. Like
Wow,
it's
that's
that
that's
point.
creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine just seeing an atomic bomb, then you die, and then you seeing your whole family and friends die, then you
Yeah.
just get brought.
You teleport
Oh,
away.
dude. Oh, oh God.
I know, right? I mean, that's basically what happened in the Wolverine Origins movie. That
You know what
one
more?
Japanese soldier before he committed seppuku, which is the art of killing yourself.
Yourself, isn't it like towards looking towards? I can't remember what direction it is.
I
It's
believe
like
it's towards the sun.
I think it is towards the sun, and you
Um,
kill yourself. Yeah,
yes,
with a sword.
right, because it's the honorable thing to do. Because rather than be caught or killed, you should be killing yourself in the eyes of the, sorry, post Japanese soldiers. I don't believe they still do this act.
No, they don't.
Um,
They kind of give up that.
yeah, because they realize that that's not really honorable either. Um, but basically, yeah, so that one Japanese, soldier, before he was able to kill himself, Wolverine stops him and puts him in that little bunker and saves his life. Which he then proceeds to try and, like, later on in his life, tries to kill Wolverine, but apparently we don't talk about that with the Wolverine franchise.
Nope, we just kind of act like that never happened,
You save a guy, and then he wants to kill you because he's jealous of your powers to stay alive.
which is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
You know what? One movie I'm so excited for. Oh my,
Sizes.
like English, pretty hard. Holy, English is a pretty hard subject. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, one movie I'm so excited for is Fast and Furious. Oh,
You mean the one where they go to space?
yeah,
You mean the one where people are like, oh wow, the next movie is going to take place in space, and then it happened, and they're like, but why?
they don't joke. All right, but
You
like
know
I'm
what?
so excited for it because I get to see Han. Oh, I missed Han. Han and Sean. Those are my two favorite actors in the whole Fast
I've
and Furious
not
franchise.
seen any of them. I've not seen any of those
Oh my
movies.
God, Tokyo. Well, I'm like, oh, another thing. I love cars. Like,
Yes.
fucking love them.
You are the car boy, the one who
I am.
drives.
I am the car boy.
But
But
yes.
I'm so excited for it because like seeing Tokyo Drift and never seeing Han or Sean again in like besides seeing Han in like one other movie, but like never seeing them again kind of sucks because they're such good actors. And Tokyo Drift is my favorite movie. And I just wanted them back for so long, and they finally bring it back.
Right. When that character's gone, you don't realize how much you missed them until they're gone. So then you're like, well, now I kind of just want to rewatch the movie so I can see him again.
Yeah, I already reached like the past week. I'm not gonna lie with you. I kind of been fiending over Tokyo Drift and watched it at least I say like 14 times this past
You
week.
gotta be kidding me.
I'm
Really?
not. I'm not. I'll just be playing video games and just leave it open on my second monitor while playing. So I'm like watching it and
Ah,
playing it.
that's that's why your aim was off in Valorant the other night. No, I'm
Okay.
just fucking.
No, I was just like I don't know. I was acting up that other night.
Nah, I do that shit too. I'll like leave a video on, or I'll just have YouTube running in the background just for background noise.
I normally listen to music, but like
That's how I did
this.
it for The Office. I mean, I've
Oh,
watched The Office 11 times through, and
I can't.
and I've already started my 12th run.
I could never get into The Office.
It's my favorite absolute show. Like I've legit, if you like look around my room, you don't see a lot of Office stuff, But then you start like taking tiny like close details from everything, and there's just office shit everywhere.
I think you have a problem.
It well, considering I've watched it 11 times on my 12th run, I would say so too.
I think that's like a serious problem. You might want to talk to your girlfriend about it.
Oh no, she supports this.
Then I think you need to talk to someone else about this. That's a problem.
She thinks it's funny how much I love The Office. Like I've got like 4 separate hoodies that are all Office themed. I've got like 5 different shirts that are all Office themed. I actually just recently got a new one that I've never seen before.
Oh my god.
If I look at my water bottle right now that's next to me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate Office stickers on it, and I've got a couple more on my laptop. And
What
then I've
the?
also got like tons more in this bag that's right here.
You have an addiction, and I hate to break it to you, but I think you need to put on the show
I
My Strange
I
Addictions.
wouldn't say it's unhealthy. It's not debilitating, at least.
Yeah, it's kind of destroying your wallet
my
and your
my
bank account.
It's okay. I've not paid for half this stuff. Like it's all been gifts, so I've gotten fairly lucky. I've paid for a couple different things from the office, but so far not yet. My goal is to go to, where they filmed the show and actually check out some of the different locations and like match it up with like the intro because I think that'd be cool.
That'd actually be kind of cool, but like, I think you have a problem.
And I just recent well, okay. Yes and no, because I keep learning new things about The Office, so it keeps making me want to rewatch The Office. Every time I rewatch it, I learn at least one new thing. You know, like this time right now, I've learned like through like Instagram searches and everything that one of the houses that uses green screen as the background and everything, they make it look like it's a house in Florida, right? But really the house is right next to the office building where they record The Office. And I thought that was super funny because I'm like, that's why the green screen was there, is because you can see the fucking building in the background.
It, that actually kind of makes sense on like why they would do that.
Yeah, it'd be a waste to go and shoot like a couple scenes at one house in Florida or anywhere with palm trees.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. Like, it's just interesting to me. So I'm like, oh, office stuff. Okay, I'll watch.
Time to rewatch the whole thing
Yeah.
again.
I learned something new this time, so I'm sure I'll learn something new next time, and I do it again and again and again. Like, I think, crap, was it in
That
2019 or 2020? One of the 2 years, I had watched The Office at least, I think it was 2019. I watched The Office like 7 times that year.
isn't the Office like getting
It's
like, isn't it getting like removed off Netflix or something?
it's already gone from Netflix in the US. It's actually still there in certain parts of the world. So if you were to use a VPN, for legal reasons, I do not advise this. But if you're to use a VPN, you can actually go and set like your location to be a different country where they have the office, and you can still watch it on Netflix technically.
Yeah, you can do that with like watching anime on Netflix. You just go to Japan.
But I don't need to because I have the box set of The Office, and I absolutely love it because it comes with like deleted scenes and bloopers and everything. And okay, maybe
I
I
still
am
kind of,
addicted, but
yeah, I think you came to the conclusion that you are. After this long talk to the Office, I think you finally realized that you have a problem. But, it's okay having an addiction. Everyone has one addiction.
it's not too unhealthy. I will
Yeah,
admit it's a little bit unhealthy, but not to the point where I need to change my lifestyle.
yeah. If someone gets one thing wrong in the Office, you can always recorrect them.
Well, that's where half my references come to. Like if I quote a line, sometimes like I'll be able to use a line naturally, like in my normal conversations, and I absolutely love it. Like the other day, someone was talking about like a big corporation. Crap, what were they talking about? Were they talking about like they could have been talking about Taco Bell? I know it was at work, and I just looked forward and I was just like, ah, the white whale, because that's a quote from The Office, and they just looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, you won't understand. It's okay.
Yeah, I have an addiction. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I've not really found a lot of shows like that I can rewatch. Like I watched Parks and Rec twice, and I was gonna watch it a third time, but then they took it off Netflix, and now I'm like, do I really want to buy a box set of that? Do I like the show that much?
The only show I would say I can do that is none because I get bored of rewatching shows.
You don't think you're gonna watch One Piece over again?
Oh hell, dude, it's taken me a year to get to episode 800.
How many episodes are there?
There's like 1,000. There's a lot.
Jesus. Well, I looked on Netflix and they only have like
Yeah,
100 or
because
something. Is there really more than just that?
yeah,
Is there like sub
they're
shows or is it just all the same storyline?
the whole storyline, like
Jesus.
the whole storyline. It's because they got. I can't remember why they can't put the whole like series on Netflix.
I think that would just be too much for Netflix to handle. Like, can you think of Netflix having to have like,
Just 1,000 plus episodes of just one show.
right? I feel like that would be way too costly for them.
Probably.
That's a lot of maintenance because imagine how many different episodes could go wrong. Like they'd have to check every episode to make sure it's all good to put on Netflix.
Yeah, unless you VPN to Japan, which don't do for
Don't
legal
do
reasons.
for legal reasons. We do not advise that.
But if you do that, like it, yeah, if you do that, there's there's a lot of anime on it. Like I mean, like that's just like all that's on there is anime.
Also, how do you watch yours?
Just through websites like
Uh,
Crunchyroll and stuff.
right. I just downloaded Crunchyroll.
The legal websites.
I was gonna watch the third season of One Punch Man. Or second season, I mean.
One Punch Man, probably my top three animes because I just love Saitama's facial expressions.
I love how like bored he is with every fight.
I just love it. Like he'll just punch him in one shot and just like have the straight his face, and everyone's like, "Holy crap, you're so strong!" And he's just like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I am. Thanks. Like,
I'm too strong and I hate it."
it's just a good show. I think it's funny because no show has really ever gone into like he's just so overpowered he can't get hurt, he can't die, nothing.
And he gets upset because of it.
Right. Because like most shows, they're like, oh, I'm searching for unlimited power. Like, I want to be better than everyone else, or I won't be able to get hurt or anything like that. But they never reach that like spot, and they never reach the point where they have no competition.
Oh, fun fact: One Piece isn't even done yet. They
Oh,
haven't
it's
even
not
found the
done. They're still
treasure.
going.
Yep, they haven't even found the treasure.
Dang, they don't
So
sound
I'm
like
still
good
watching it.
searchers.
Yeah, it's kind of very long. It's gonna take you a long if you ever watch. It's gonna take
Oh,
you a pretty long time to watch
I
it.
will watch it. Mark my
Yeah,
word, I will watch it, but it will
have
not
fun
be
sitting there
anytime
for a year.
soon because I've got like a good list of what I'm gonna watch. Right now, I'm still trying to finish Death Note. I swear to
Hmm.
God,
I have the whole box set for that.
I'm
Pretty
just
good anime.
I'm just stuck. Like I'm not in the Netflix phase, so I really just don't want to watch a show and sit down for fucking 20 minutes and just watch a show where I'm like, I'd rather be like in the mood and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Death Note. And so like since I'm in my YouTube phase right now, I'm just mindlessly scrolling through YouTube looking for new content.
Yeah, that's like actually like how I am too. Like I would like go through like a phase of just watching anime like straight, then like a phase where I just watch YouTube for a week. Like next week, I'm probably gonna watch anime for like the whole week and just stay up all night watching One Piece and other animes. But we don't speak of my addiction for that. But
Right,
other than
I'm the
that,
one with the addiction here.
no, yeah, you are. But other than that, yeah, Death Note's good. Like I would like say it's like the best starting anime you could ever watch for like anyone.
I
Like if
think
you
it's
guys
even
are
like
gonna
a great
start,
like returning anime to go to.
yeah, it's like if you're ever gonna watch like an anime for the first time, I recommend Death Note
Yes.
easily because it's the easiest one to get into and like the easiest one to like like because it's like a mystery anime, so it's
Right.
pretty
There's
interesting to
there's
watch.
turns at every angle, and I like Death Note personally because it's kind of like you get to think
See both
alongside of
sides.
Light, and you're like, well, this is what I would do.
Yeah, it's like you get to see like both sides of the action too and think along. It's like, well, how would I go away with this?
Right.
It's like like you can't like figure out like how they're dying because they're just fucking
You have no
dying.
idea how often I've been like, well, I could have done that better. Like watching the show, I was like, you know what?
It really gets
I don't
it
think I would
really
have
gets
been
your
suspected
psychopath
of
side
it.
out. It's like, yeah, you know what? I kind of would have killed this person in this way so they wouldn't
Right.
know in this time. It's like it gets your psychopath out. I'm not gonna lie.
It kind of does. It kind of does. Like, have you ever watched The End of the Effing World?
No, I think so. So I like where there's like two people alive, one's a girl, one's a man, something like that.
Yeah. they're not like the last two people alive, but they are um high school students, I think. And basically, they kind of go on like a crazy spree where they just don't give a fuck about like the laws and everything like that, and they get themselves in trouble. I fully recommend that show. Now that the second
What's it
season is
called?
out, The End of the Effing World. It's on Netflix. I can send you the like name of it and everything after
I
the
found it.
episode. Oh, you did? Good. It's a really good show, and I think that that's a great show for psychopaths. Um,
Um,
because basically what happens in the show, basically you can say, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's one of those shows that makes you think about what you could have done instead of what they did. You know, it's kind of like crime shows. You know how you're like, oh well, why didn't they notice this? You know, of course it's this. That's why this
oh,
person
it's
got
like the
caught, or you know,
one show that it's so fucking good for crime. The Flash.
The Flash.
Yes, that's such a good show for crime. He's like you want to like solve the mystery of like who this villain is this time and like how did they get their power and stuff.
Hmm.
It's like so cool.
I've not seen The Flash yet. I need to watch
Oh,
that too. Again, one of many things on my list.
I have a list of animes I need to watch. It's pretty long.
And the funny thing is that there's a lot of movies on my list that I could just knock out in like one day, which I'm kind of planning on in the summer. Just like binge Netflix for a little while still being a healthy human being.
See, I'm
But
gonna be an unhealthy human being and binge Netflix.
well, you still have time in high school, so you're fine.
Yeah, but like
I now have to worry about everything else, adult things like
adult things suck.
taxes.
Oh, let's not talk about taxes. That's rough.
Real quick,
Taxes are
I want to say
taxes
one
are
thing about
rough.
taxes is that on my state tax, right? My refund for my state refund would have
Is that
been
what you're working on?
well, I was working on my federal and state,
Ooh,
but um my dad was helping me fill out all my shit because, I'm 19 and don't know what I'm doing, but also it's just easier if he knows exactly what's going on, so that way if we ever need help with something, he knows exactly how to do it. But
that's how my dad is with my sister.
I was watching and like he just kept clicking like the next button. Like half the fucking pages didn't apply to me. It's just like next, 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 next. And since I'm a dependent, it's easier to know exactly like what he can take off on his taxes because of how much I make, that kind of shit. My state refund would have been $2. $2, which is
Yo, you know what
which
you
is
could buy with
weird.
$2?
I can
You could buy a good amount of gumballs.
you know how much it would have cost me for me to file for those $2?
How much?
$20. So I'd be paying $18 for no reason. Like I will file my state just when we figure shit out. Like it's just crazy. So we're filing my federal tonight. And there's like
Holy,
with H&R Block, there's a weird like little bonus that you can do where um whenever you file, instead of putting it straight into your direct deposit like your bank account, they can give you a like 3.5% bonus, I think it was, and put it into a onto a Amazon gift card for you. Which I was like,
on.
you know what? That is Amazon money. I
You know
couldn't
what I
really
can buy with
spend it
Amazon
anywhere
money?
else.
More office stuff.
I know, right? I was like, a boy's got to have the office stuff. But no, we just decided to do the direct deposit into my account because that's smarter than trying to have $630 something on fucking
Amazon.
Amazon. That you don't need. You don't need that much money on Amazon.
Dude, I could buy so much manga. It's not even funny. Buy so much manga, like 3 box sets, and that's it because box sets are stupid expensive.
Why are manga so expensive? Is it because
Uh,
it's like all hand drawn,
yes,
or
it's literally just because like how much detail they go into. Like look at like One Punch Man. One Punch Man, best artist like you will ever see for manga. Like some of his drawings are freaking crazy. And like it's just crazy on how good he is. So like it's just basically because of the drawing why it's so expensive.
that makes sense? It's all the effort that goes into it.
Yeah, because like I mean, like they draw it all, like they like hand draw it, not even like through a computer or anything. Like just most of the time, like through notebooks or something.
Yeah, that's that's crazy talent.
Yeah,
I could never. That I
I think I would like lose my mind trying to learn how to draw because I suck.
I have fun drawing stupid shit. I drew this weird like little Mario face one time in my computer lab. Keep in mind, I'm using the fucking mouse, and I had emailed it to everybody in the class. So I did like a mass email, so like everyone in the class opened it up at the same time. They're just my fucking photo that I drew like 20 times over. It's kind of funny. I enjoyed that.
I took Photoshop in middle school. That's pretty cool to learn. Now I suck at it because I don't remember anything
I
from it.
don't know
Because
how to fucking use Photoshop. Like I am so lost. I was using it for a little while trying to figure out how to do anything,
it's
and it just
pretty
wasn't letting me do
simple.
anything. Like I couldn't add photos to photos and everything to like put them on the same
Uh,
layer, and I was like, why? I couldn't even
it
add them in as a new layer on top of the existing layer.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty straightforward.
Maybe I'm
I'm a
just
big
stupid. Maybe I'm just stupid.
I'm not gonna lie, like everything's there and it tells you what to do. Like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but I'm also just not good when it comes to Adobe. Like you see how I am with my own edits. I'm just like, oh, this works.
Oh
Like,
wait a minute. The audio sounds kind of weird here, but you know it still works.
yeah, that's exactly what I do. I go, you know, the audio does seem a little bit quiet. I'll just cut this part here, cut this part here, and then raise the audio in the middle. And then I'm like, wait a second. Now the other audio part of that is way too loud.
Yeah, it
Fuck.
works. Ah, I want to like I wonder if I could get my old Photoshop pictures. He's like, there's this one Photoshop that I did. I think I have it on my phone still. Let me send you it through Discord. Let me see if I can find it. So this took me a while to do. I was pretty impressed with myself in doing it.
What is it of?
It's just space.
You know what I want to get
You
really good
all
at is like painting.
painting's
Like Bob Ross levels of painting.
that's pretty high level painting.
Yeah, but they have like classes on it.
I was pretty impressed with myself making that.
Let me check it out.
It's
Oh shit,
pretty damn.
you made that in Photoshop. That's really cool.
Yeah. Took me a whole 3 weeks to make it because I was still learning how to do it. But then afterwards,
Is that a pool? Is
no.
that
So okay, so it's like I don't remember, but
cool?
the like that one thing. Yeah, I used like a pool and cropped it out and like formed into a sphere.
I was gonna say it looks like the photo of a pool, like our pool that we have at my house.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. Like I grabbed a picture of a pool. I
Okay.
cropped it out, then I put it in a circle, then I sphered that circle to make it more circular. Then after that, I merged it with the circle. Then I started the can't remember the name of the effect. Then started going over that to make it more like unnaturalish kind of towards the edges, so it looks more like rounder.
Yeah. Can we just talk about like have you ever owned a pool or helped take care of a pool?
Nope,
I want to just talk
I own
about
a
it real
boat,
quick. Okay, so some of the same stuff can be applied, like all the maintenance that goes into it.
dude. Don't even talk to me about maintenance on a boat. Oh my god.
Well, I've helped clean the undersides of boats and everything like that, and that shit's fucking nasty. Like really, really nasty.
Yeah, because our ocean's disgusting.
Well, even like lake water is disgusting. Like lake water is sometimes even worse because it's trapped in such a smaller area, so everything just kind of like festers up like a wound on on the bottom of the boat. But like pools fucking suck to take care of.
They also cost a shit ton of money to take care of.
They're also very expensive. Like we had to replace the liner a couple years back, and
Ooh.
first of all, liners are expensive for pools, but putting one in is also very risky because if the liner rips, you had to get a whole new liner basically. You can you can patch it up, don't get me wrong, but it is very difficult to patch up a hole in a liner of a
Okay, so
pool.
if the line, so did you have people come in to install the liner?
No, we did it ourselves.
Okay, so yeah, if you ripped it, you had to repay for it. But I was like, but if the people that install it for you ripped it, wouldn't they have to repay for it because they ripped it
Because
on
they ripped
themselves?
it, yeah, they would have to replace it. But they're also more skilled, so I doubt that they would ever rip it, you know? But my dad ended up, because we used to just have steps that went into the pool and then steps that would go out the pool. We didn't have a deck for the longest time. I don't remember it at all. Like, I don't remember it at all because my dad built a deck around that pool so freaking quick after we moved in, built the pool because it was weird just to have like a ladder or steps around the pool. So
Hmm.
he had to lay out concrete like things that he had to make the molds of and lay the concrete in the molds and right at the perfect time put the wooden beams in there so that the wooden beam would solidify to the concrete. Most recently we will have to go back and like I'm gonna help him with this relay some concrete in the very center of the deck so that the middle is supported because after a little while pool decks start to fucking collapse. And what they do is that they warp in the center where everybody walks and stands. And so
If the water is dripping
all that
onto it,
water keeps consistently going down. So like at the first year, you're not gonna notice a thing. Like the first couple years, but as time goes by, it starts to get more and more flexible, and that wood becomes less and less sturdy. So we're gonna have to go back and work on that.
that's why like you constantly have to like keep update on like your like driveway and stuff because from the rain and stuff can destroy it.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with that kind of stuff, and sometimes it can be very costly to repair it. And
My
so,
is your okay? So serious question: is your driveway concrete or like asphalt?
trick question: we don't have one.
You don't have a driveway.
No. So my house does not have a driveway. We did have a garage, but before we moved in, that was torn down and they put a pool there.
Okay.
So yes, we just have street parking.
Okay.
Like
Okay. So
legit, that's when we have parties. It's so fucking hectic on our street because instead of just there being like the normal like 10 cars on our street, there's like 40. So my parties, that we would throw would have the entire street filled out with cars that were all going to my house.
it's a lot of cars.
It's a lot of cars. It's already difficult enough with with my family being here, like just us, sometimes getting parking like near our house. It's that bad.
See, my driveway is asphalt, and let me tell you, when with the maintenance that you have to do with asphalt, dude. So every I can't remember how many months, but like you have to constantly getting it like get it relayered, so
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't get destroyed. And the time it takes for that asphalt to dry, it's like 4 days.
Yeah.
So like that's 4 days of like not being able to step on it, and that's where my basketball hoop is, and that's 4 days of not me being able to go outside and like hang out with friends on it. It's a lot of days, you know?
See, I get that about the whole asphalt thing because our street was redone, like fucking 7 years ago or some shit, and now they've not touched it since because the asphalt all like stayed the same. Um, And so what they did is they tore up the street and laid down asphalt so no one could park. No one could park on the street itself, at certain parts. And I think they did like almost our entire block of asphalt. I don't know why. It just cuts off from like normal like, you know,
Like
road,
concrete, low
concrete and
concrete
everything
thing.
to complete asphalt.
Ooh, it's
It's
kind of
really weird because
weird.
it's really weird like nice
It
gray
looks
texture and then you look on our street and it's just like pitch black road.
that's kind of weird looking. I feel like oh ah, I feel like that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, my girlfriend asked about that recently. She was like, "Why is your guys' road, asphalt? Like, why is it black?" And I was like, "They just like repaved it one day, and I have personally still no idea why. Like, I'm guessing like the road was just so messed up.
Well, I mean, asphalt's the easiest thing to cover up like bumpy spots because it's just like fucking flying that bitch.
Yeah,
Put asphalt and it's like, all right, it's done.
but it does make it so much freaking hotter to try and like walk out onto the street with
Oh, it's
no shoes
horrible.
on. It,
It's
it's
so bad.
it's bad.
Like when I'm taking the garbage out there in the summer, I always put like sides on because it just gets so hot.
It's just kind of funny because like I've ruined my feet for good because like between the asphalt, street and all the constant that we have like basically how our backyard is set up, it's half grass, half rocks, and it's like grass up to a certain area. Then it hits like where the shed is and where the pool is, and it cuts off and it turns into rocks. And so I just would walk there barefoot whenever we'd have pool parties and something would get thrown out of the pool. I would go get it, go walk over in the rocks. Jagged rocks just stabbing you constantly.
I feel like that would suck.
It did, but now I don't really feel a lot of pain on my feet. Kind of
I think that's
destroyed
the
a lot of
problem.
nerves.
I think that's actually a problem.
I don't know. I feel like it's not the worst that could happen, but definitely interesting to say the least. Though I officially I learned one summer I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn how to hop in and out of the pool from the side of the pool instead of trying to go all the way back around to the deck. Because there was a large majority of the time where our deck, like the underneath, would be covered in wasp nests.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I hate wasps. Like they, unlike bees, where like their stinger just rips off. Wasps can just constantly sting you
hmm
and sting you and sting you.
And they're evil too. They go for blood.
Yeah,
Like they're
they're
not
fucking
gonna
murderers.
they're not gonna be like, all right, as long as you stay over there, we'll be fine. They're like, oh, there's someone over there. Well, let me go check it out. Wasps are nasty little fuckers.
I remember one story. My brother was coming home from school. Like when I at my old house, like we lived right next to elementary school. He was coming home. And there was this wasp nest, like at this person's house. He was crossing by. This wasp stung my brother. This one little wasp stung my brother at least like 12 times.
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
holy shit.
The only time I've ever been stung was when I was a little kid, and we would go to my Aunt Carol's lake house, right on, in Kentucky, and there was this bell right at the back of the steps for the deck, and I would ring the bell all the freaking time. One summer, the wasps built their nest inside the bell. Me not knowing it, I ran up and freaking rang that shit like hell. These wasps come out and one stings me in the freaking ear. And that's where my large irrational hatred and fear for wasps comes from. Because before that, I don't think I was truly too bothered by bugs. But then all of a sudden I something that turns from so joyous to so angry and frightful because of wasps.
I think I would hate wasps too. Don't worry.
Trust me, I still see wasps now, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go take out the trash, and I see wasps back by the back gate, where I have to go get to the dumpster, and I'm like, all right, I'll just drive around the block in my car, drop off the trash, and then go to where I need to go. I'm not messing with the wasps. They can have their space. It's their
Uh,
space now. They
Wasps
want
are like
they want the house, they can have it.
wasps. Like don't get me wrong. I don't know what they do, but they definitely do something. But God damn, I wish they were extinct.
I don't think they do anything. I'm gonna look it up now. I'm betting anything that they don't do anything.
Damn, I wish they were extinct. Holy shit, I hate them. They're little devils. My hatred will always be there for them.
Oh, don't. No, bees are pollinators. Wasps are not pollinators. Don't give me this shit, BBC News. It says vital role. It says that wasps play a vital role. A world without wasps would be a world with a very much larger number of insect pests on our crops and gardens, as well as being voracious and ecologically important predators. Wasps are increasingly recognized as valuable pollinators, transferring pollen as they visit flowers to drink nectar. That's ridiculous.
They, I don't really see them being pollinated. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know bugs. It might be. I don't know. I just live here.
I don't want wasps. I wish they'd all die. I'm fine with a little bit more bugs as long as there's no wasps. That's okay. And fun fact about me, I am highly allergic to mosquitoes. So,
Oh,
and one of my favorite places to go is Kentucky, and they have a huge amount of mosquitoes. And this summer I'm also going to Virginia, which I think also has a lot of mosquitoes.
Ah,
I could be wrong.
Virginia?
I could be
It's not
wrong.
that bad. What part of Virginia?
Um, Mechanicsville,
I wonder if that's close to me.
small town. But anyway, I blow up like a balloon when I get bit by a mosquito. Like the worst one I've ever recalled was on my left leg. It bit me on my shin, like on the front of my shin, right? That little bite rose off an inch on my leg and was probably, a good 4 or 5 inches long and like 2 or 3 inches wide. Like it was a huge like pad of my skin that was so swollen from the one wasp bite. And because of my type of blood, which currently I do not know, I'm sure I could find it out easily, but I do not know it off the top of my head. Wasps are more attracted to me. And so I will go out and I could be out for legit 10 minutes in the middle of the summer, right? And I come back in and I can count and I will have over 12 wasp, or not wasp, like mosquito bites all over my body. Like the one day I freaking counted, we were in Kentucky down at the lake and we had been sitting outside all night. It had been probably like 5 hours or so. I counted when I got inside. I counted 56 mosquito bites.
Oh, how sick were you?
I I felt horrible. Like my entire body itched so freaking bad. Like imagine, like you already know how much one mosquito bite itches for you.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Now imagine
it just for like a minute
56 of
straight. Then after
those.
that,
It was horrendous. And like cuz like every time you move, your shirt touches them and then you're like, "Okay, now I want to itch it. Now I want to itch it." And then you like lay down to go to sleep and then you're like, "Oh, this is torture." Like it is the worst. I hate mosquito bites. They are So I use a thing called Skin So Soft, which for people that don't know is mosquito repellent for racehorses. I use the strength that they give racehorses. Like,
does it not? Would that burn?
no,
I feel like
no, it's nice and oily, and it just goes like nice up and down your arms and legs and neck and everything. Cause like off and like all the other mosquito repellents don't really work for me that well. They will go through those to still get to my blood. And so I have to, use Skin So Soft, which really isn't the worst thing. You can find it at the store. It's fine. It's also for humans, but they primarily use it for racehorses in like the Kentucky Derby because if a horse gets bitten by a mosquito, they'll be itching that, trying to itch it during the race. Like it's hectic. It's a whole like horse training thing and everything. But it's kind of crazy because it's like I just take this like little cotton ball and I rub it all the way up and down my body basically, and I go outside and I'm like, my skin's very oily. Do not touch me, or I will slip away. Fun times.
mosquitoes also suck. They're actually pretty useless.
Yes.
Mosquitoes are actually really useless.
Have you seen mosquito hawks?
Hell no, and I don't want to.
I want you to look up the picture of a mosquito hawk, right?
I really don't want to.
I think you do want to,
I don't know if I really want to.
because mosquito hawks eat mosquitoes, also known as a crane
Oh,
fly, right?
I want to now.
Yes. And they're known as crane flies, but they are big things. They look like a mosquito, but like 10 times bigger. You know, as far as I know, they eat mosquitoes. That's what I've always heard.
Hawk.
Oh, they don't. What the hell? Why would people say that then? Why would they give them the name mosquito hawk if they don't eat mosquitoes? Oh, they eat mosquito larvae?
Oh wait, that's good.
I still consider that mosquitoes. This website says it doesn't consider it mosquitoes, but I do. Because that's
Right.
getting rid of mosquitoes before they're even born. But yeah, this thing's freaking terrifying. Like this one's like the
Dude,
size of someone's like fingers and everything.
that's kind of gross.
One of those landed on me once. I freaked the fuck out. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going inside. Y'all can have your fun out here. I'm going inside. What you'll learn to know about me is that I am a big wuss when it comes to bugs. Like I hate spiders and I hate mosquitoes and like wasps. I'm getting better with bees as long as they're like not bees with stingers. If they're bees with stingers, I will leave them alone. That's their territory. I don't want to disrupt anything. But I can't really stand most bugs.
I'm actually pretty good with bees too. Just like I know, like if you don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with you.
Right. I know that they'll come like fly around me a lot, and so I kind of just like, you stand still, you wait for them to go away. But the worst was like when there'd be like, wasps and everything like that, and hornets on the football field in the middle of band camp, and you're standing there at attention. You're not allowed to move. You're not supposed to move and everything. And there's this fucking mosquito flying around like near the band members and everything, or not mosquito, wasp. And everyone's just like, okay, I don't like this anymore. Everyone starts freaking the fuck out.
Ooh. I don't really got any stories like that for like lacrosse and stuff. Like, which you kind of don't realize bugs flying around you. Ooh, actually, no, I got a good story. So there was this like fire ant like hill. Like, so we were playing like this shitty grass field. So it was basically just dirt.
Yeah.
There's this fire ant hill. My friend, so like when you're on attack, you kind of just like when like during face off, you kind of just sit there and do nothing. My friend is just standing there. He got fucking destroyed by these fire ants. Like I mean, like obliterated by them. Like it was so bad that we had to, like pause the game for a minute, pretty
Dang.
long time, because like it was just bad.
That's crazy. I know fire ants are very vicious, like
Yeah,
insects.
they're, they're cruel.
They
They
fuck
also burn after they bite you,
yeah, they fuck you up bad.
and
I,
you don't
I know
expect them
lacrosse
to.
is hard enough. Like you don't need fire ants to come up and torture you as well.
Yeah, it's kind of cruel. Ooh, I actually have another story too. I was like playing, and I was running down the field. So like my main spot is goalie, and like you can run down the field if you get the ball. And I was running down the field. I was kind of bored and I kind of like see if I could score as a goalie. It's like kind of funny. So I went to go. I was running down the field, and this fly flew into my nose. So all you hear from me
What?
is going, trying to get that fucker out of my nose.
That's weird. Why do they do that? Like I've noticed like gnats flying towards people and everything. Like try and go in their ears and everything. That's just weird.
I feel like bugs just like the inside of people's bodies.
They like moist places, and we're all moist human beings.
I feel like you're just doing that to make people upset right now.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I love it because I'm not bothered by the word moist.
I'm not either. My sister hates it.
I know a lot of people that like they're like, don't say that word, don't say that word, and I'm like, why? It's just moist. There's literally nothing like weird about the word to me, at least. But
Oh
yeah,
shit.
I know lacrosse is already a hard enough sport. Like I knew people that had played lacrosse, and they're like, you like the refs don't really care if you kind of whack each other with the
Oh hell
sticks.
no.
And
Oh
so
oh
I've
no.
heard
They
people have been
don't.
like, yeah, some guy took his fucking like this 250-pound guy was like, yeah, he just took his stick and whacked me in my back. I was like, Jesus,
Yeah.
fucking
And
Mad Max in
my
a Thunderdome over here.
my whole arm is like purple and green.
Plus
Kind of.
like they fling those balls at you real damn quick.
Yeah. My friends. So imagine a full leather ball. Like this is like full on thick leather, just getting flung at you at 100 miles per hour.
And isn't it like the size of a golf ball?
No, it's bigger.
Bigger?
It's like the size of a baseball.
Damn. See, when we played in fucking like middle school and everything, and like early parts of high school, it was always I felt like they were always a little bit smaller. I feel like they kind of did that on purpose so like nobody would get too hurt. I remember one
Yeah.
kid got like hit on the fucking forehead and he had this giant red mark for the rest of the fucking like next 2 days. That's just mighty dangerous.
Yeah. I got another story. So I was playing goalie. This is a practice too. One of my friends, this is from my travel team. He has a pretty fast shot. I would say like 98, something like that. And he was warming me up, and I told him he could shoot a little bit faster. I was like, you know what? Like, I want him to shoot as hard as he can. So I was like, hey, shoot your hardest shot. Man hit me right in the nuts. Thank God I was wearing a cup. By the same time, I wish I wasn't. By the same time, I'm happy I was. Because that cup broke.
Jesus Christ.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm looking up cups.
You
I
wouldn't be
found
out
this
of your
cup.
baby maker. You'd
I
be
was,
out of your baby maker for good.
yeah, I was like, and I found this cup. It's bulletproof. This cup I have right now is bulletproof. I don't feel anything when I get hit down there. It's like the greatest thing of my life. It's like, but it was an expensive ass cup. It was $80
That was all okay. I don't know about you, but that was always the weirdest thing for me in soccer.
wearing
Like,
cups.
yeah, like wearing cups, doing like a cup check.
Oh, we do cup shots for my high school teams. We're forced if you don't have a cup on your bench.
Yeah. And so like it's just the weirdest thing having a grown man talking to a bunch of little kids being like cup check and they're all like knocking at their crotches. Like what the absolute fuck is that?
I mean, like it's better. It's I hate like everyone that says like people that tell me they don't wear a cup. I'm like, you're actually an
No, you're
idiot.
stupid.
Like I
You
don't
will get hurt.
like I
Guaranteed.
don't care if you've never been hitting down there in your life, but like I'm telling you right now, you need to wear a
You
cup.
will be destined to be hit down there if you don't wear a cup during like the sports. Trust me.
Like it will save your life. Like if you want kids, wear a cup.
Yeah.
Not even that. If you don't want kids, just don't wear a
If
cup
you
because it
don't want
hurts.
to pee at a catheter, wear a cup.
Yeah, there you go.
Like if you don't want to pee through a tube, wear a cup. That's as simple as it gets.
It hurts like that. Like it's bad.
Fun
It's
story with
bad.
sports. I wish they made cups for your face because at one point during my indoor soccer league, when I was a little kid, I must have been like 9 or 10, I think. Uh, I was one of the shortest kids on the team. I was obviously one of the shortest and like stubbliest kids on the team. Like I was chubbier than I am now. At least 40 to 50 pounds heavier than I am now, right? And I for some reason, my coach thought it would be the best idea to put me, I don't know if I've told this story before, put me in the center of the wall for a penalty kick. And, this is right at that range where guys start going through puberty, right? And so, like, these kids start getting more and more strength. And lo and behold, the two tallest people on our team were next to me, on either side of me. So it was like this giant, like it goes up on both sides and then straight down to where I'm at.
So it kind of looks like a kid imagining a castle wall.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so basically what ended up happening was I got kicked in the face basically. Like kid kicks the soccer ball and it whacks me straight in the fucking face, like square on. Right? And of course I'm a little kid, so I'm like bawling my eyes. I'm like, and I'm like go over to the fucking bench, and they're all like, oh, it's all good, it's all good, right? And I like everyone's taking the knee on the field. Lo and behold, same kid gets a penalty kick right as I'm on the field again. They put me in the same spot in the middle of the wall.
Did you get hit
Same.
there again?
Yes, of course I did. Of course, two fucking times. Same kids, same spot, and everything. Same thing happened. Like legit, it was like deja vu for me. And so I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I can walk over. I walk over, sit on the bench, and I'm just so like, I'm crying, and I'm like, I don't want to cry. I'm a tough kid. Blah blah. Obviously not. Fucking bawling my eyes out. And my dad had the audacity after the game to come up to me and be like, if had you gotten kicked one more time in the face, I would have bought you the new Xbox. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like, you just watched your kid get kicked twice in the fucking face, bawling his eyes up both times. The first thing you say to him is like, had it happen one more time, I would have bought you the Xbox. You should have done better.
Dude, you should have gotten kicked in one more time.
Dude, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. My dad always placed bets with me because like I was a shitty soccer player, and he was always like, if you score a goal this time, I'll buy you an Xbox game. Blah blah. I played soccer for like 4 or 5 years, right? And on the last year or 2 years, I did indoor soccer as well as outdoor soccer, right? I never once scored a goal. I don't think I even scored a goal during practice. That's how bad I was. I was I didn't want to play. I didn't want to play soccer. My dad and I both agree on that now. I never wanted to play. But I was signed up for it multiple times, and every time it was, if you score a goal, you'll get a game. And I always had that little freaking false hope every game. I was like, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time. And on one game, indoor soccer, I was like, and then I missed. And I was like, well, there's my one chance. Like, season's over in like 3 games. I can't even score a goal once. So it was bad.
I kind
I
of feel bad for you now.
No, I'm not an athletic kid. I did marching band for 4 years, and I wanted to do DCI, which is Drum Corps International, which is like professional marching band, where you know you play with a marching band group of like hundreds of kids, hundreds of people, and you get seen by thousands, hundreds of thousands of people for a competition, and it's
That's pretty
really
fucking cool.
it's an awesome experience from what I've seen. It's just insanely hard because the music's hard. But I was always a band kid, and so I was never athletic. I would have loved to been athletic, but just wasn't my, prerogative because I was more of a kid that was like, I'll just play inside on my Xbox. Like it was funny because you would see me at the end of the year of my school years be pale as fuck. Go to do soccer where I would tan, and then for the start of the school years I'd be tan as hell, right? Well, when I stopped playing soccer, of course the tanning stopped, so I was just pretty damn pale. Or well, my natural like pigment's not too pale, but then I did marching band, and the band camp always takes place before school photos. So I, being the kid that I am, don't really wear sunscreen. I just don't. Personally, I just don't put it on. I'm too lazy, right? And so I burn and I crispen. I go from being a nice shade where I'm at to being like 12 shades deeper on my entire body. And it's so fucking funny because it's like my head at one point in the middle of the summer, like one year, I was in Kentucky. My forehead was so sunburnt that it was swelling, and I thought it was just one giant pimple across my forehead. But it was like I could push down on it, and it would like sit there for a second and then bubble back up.
That's bad.
It was bad. It was really, really bad.
That's horrible.
It was funny though, also concerning to me, but mainly funny because I was like, huh, I've never seen this happen to myself. Out of all the things I've done for band camp, and I've never seen this. That's interesting.
I don't actually. I got pretty good sunburn. I got sunburnt this weekend. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I spend 90% of my time indoors, and I'll keep it that way. Happier on the inside than I am on the outside, especially right now with all the pollen.
I always been like an athletic kid, but like always found video games more interesting towards me. But like I'm pretty damn athletic.
See, that's like a weird mix for me, you know? How you're just really athletic and you like playing sports, but you find video games and like, obviously anime more interesting than the sports that you do play.
These are more appealing.
I think it's because you get to relax a little bit more. Like you have statistics for like specific statistics for your games, where
Yeah,
you can find ways to consistently better yourself. Whereas I feel like in sports, sometimes people hit a wall and they're like, this is the top of my career.
that's for me. Like I feel like that's me right now with goalie, but at the same time, like I know I could be better because like in middle school where I used to live, I played for like one of the best teams you could play for. Which so like there's rankings for clubs. So there's single A, double A, triple A, and like triple A is like the best of best. And my
Right.
old club team was ranked triple A. So like we're playing like these like top teams like there's these teams called Hawks, Crabs, like those teams like that, and we're playing the best of the best teams. So like I like but like right now like I feel like I just hit that brick wall where it's like I mean like hell I live in fucking West Virginia, crosses is like barely a thing here.
You have mountains.
Yeah,
That's what you got.
that's literally what I got.
And in Missouri, we have crime and the St. Louis Arch. But crime.
We got drugs. Forgot to mention that we also got drugs. We got a lot of that.
You know what? We're just going to do a whole new podcast episode on everything about our states that people don't really realize.
There's a lot of drugs here.
Fun facts. Oh,
Like,
also, because of the meth addicts in my state, I am not really allowed to buy allergy medicine.
sounds like fun.
So you have to be, as far as I know, a certain age to buy medicine, over the counter drugs, right?
Yeah.
But with Walgreens brand of like Benadryl that doesn't make you drowsy, you can only buy a certain amount at each store in each city. So, you can find a ways around it where, and for legal reasons, I don't know if this is fully legal, so don't do this. Wink, wink. Um, you can go to a city right over. So, like with St. Charles, you can go to St. Peter's. With St. Peter's, you can go to St. Charles or Florissant or O'Fallon or St. Louis or Bethalto, or, you just find a separate city and you can buy more there. And some cities don't exactly have, restrictions, but there are quite a few that do. I believe it might be statewide. And it's because you can actually make, I think it was meth, it was either meth, or you can make crack if you break down wall drill, melt it down, put it in a pot basically, mix whatever other components, and you can make hardcore drugs.
Sounds like a vibe.
I just want it for my fucking pollen allergies. I don't want to make hardcore drugs.
Dude, I feel like this year, like with allergies, been worse this year.
Do you know why it's worse?
Why?
It's because no one's bodies are acclimated to the pollen. Last year, since we took a giant break because of COVID, a lot of people remained inside for most of the year. And so what
Why?
ended up happening is that people's bodies kind of didn't get really acclimated to weather or conditions like pressure in the air, and so their bodies have to reacclimate to everything. And it's a harsh environment because everything has been harsh for the past couple of years, especially pollen. This year's like off the charts. But it would be easier on most people's bodies had their bodies been acclimated last year as well.
Dude, like I'm like it's so bad. Like I can't like there's a point where I couldn't play lacrosse. Like I had literally skipped a day of practice because I couldn't breathe. It was so damn bad. It
See,
was cool.
my girlfriend doesn't have pollen allergies, and she's always like, I feel so bad for you. And I'm very jealous of her because I would love to not have pollen allergies.
I wish I didn't have allergies in general. I'm allergic to like dust, like dust bites. I'm like
Oof, that's rough.
it sucks going to school. Even though like they do a pretty good job with the cleaning it. At the same time, it still sucks because there's still a shit ton of dust.
Right.
So like I'm always sick.
It's weird that you're not like a clean freak because I feel like with that kind of like allergy you would because you're like, I need the room to be clean so there's no more dust. I need the room to be clean so there's no more dust.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I'm like the laziest person you ever meet.
Ugh. I just think, allergies in general suck, obviously, but I feel like a lot of them you can kind of stay away from, that kind of thing. Like two
Like
of my
dog
sisters,
allergies and cat allergies, that's easy to stay around. But like fucking pollen and
right?
fucking dust.
Like two of my sisters have tree nut allergies, and so what they have to do is they have to make sure menu items don't contain any type of tree nut and packaged products don't contain any type of tree nut. But with pollen, like one of my sisters also has like my sisters also have pollen allergies, right? And so it's not like you can really avoid that. You kind of just have to deal with it. You're like, oh, okay, pollen's really bad today. Well, that's it. That's my day.
It's just life, you know?
It is life. Like at one point, I had to take a whole algebra test while my eyes were like watering so bad because of the pollen, because my teacher refused to close the windows, and I sat next to the windows and I couldn't move for the test. So I had to sit there and suffer for like an hour and 20 minutes during high school at one point. This happened a lot of times whenever we take tests. It was the worst. I was like, I had to keep reinforcing people. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm not crying. I've got really bad pollen allergies. And so this is what I will look like for the next like 3 months.
I don't know, like allergies. Like I wish there's like I want them to think of oh, wait. Before I get to that point, dude, my mom's like highly allergic to seafood, like any seafood. Like
Really?
it's so bad if she walks in a restaurant and she can like smell seafood or like something like that, she will puff up like
Damn.
a balloon. Like it's that bad. But
That's
like
rough.
but like I just want them to make a way where you could I bet you our government has it too. I bet you damn well they have a way of like curing allergies.
Conspiracy theories on the podcast. Like, that should be a whole episode. I'm sure there'll be an episode about conspiracy theories.
Dude, our government's fishy. It's
See,
fucking
I can guarantee you,
stinks. There's things
that
they have that we don't know.
we will eventually find cures for illnesses that we don't have cures for now, i.e., the common cold, or for allergies. It's just bound to happen. I mean, look at where our life has already taken us. Within the past couple hundred years, we've already found medicines for stuff that we thought would never be curable. We found vaccinations for polio and, typhoid fever and, like there's so many different things that hundreds of years ago we thought was end all be all. If you get sick with this, you die. There's no way to stop it, cure it, or help you. But now we've actually got stuff to prevent that kind of thing, you know?
Like cancer.
And so, well, actually, with some types of cancer, like
It's
breast
not
cancer,
curable.
with some types of cancer, you are able to get rid of it for a
Yeah.
short period of time. But if the cancer doesn't kill you, the chemo will.
Dude, chemo's horrible.
I absolutely hate that radiation is so damaging to people's bodies because it can, get rid of the cancer. But then the radiation will sometimes give you a different cancer or kill you. Or the cancer will relapse and come back and kill
But
you.
that's the problem is chemo's literally the only way to like slow it down.
And that's just for now. They're still working on a lot of different things, like testing the cells of cancer differently and seeing how they might work. And so one thing that they want to try and do eventually is test it on clones. So, there was the Dolly the sheep, and then most recently there was the Chinese monkey that they cloned one monkey in China and they cloned it so it would be the same monkey, right? So they want to eventually try that on clones. Now, they're not going to try and clone human life anytime soon because it's unethical in the eyes of just about every government, even though it would lead to the best studies for our world. Um, but they want to test that so that we can try and problem solve on live humans. But again, unethical.
You know what really sounds really good? This is off topic, but I really want Panda Express right now.
Chinese food in general right now sounds really good.
Like I don't know why it just popped in my mind about talking about our government. Oh, because like
I think I said the word China and that's what threw you off.
I think that is, but like I really want fucking Panda Express.
We have this little family shop called China King Buffet. My favorite place to go. Nothing ever beats it because it's cooked right there. Recently they changed how everything is, but I just loved the atmosphere of the place and everything. The food was amazing. Oh, like the sweet and sour chicken, the general, so's, all that kind of stuff. They had great lo mein, chow mein, different types of rice. It was just this little like family owned restaurant. Been there literally ever since I've lived here. I can guarantee you it's been there a lot longer than I've lived here, but still a damn long time for a mom and pop shop.
Yeah, that's a. Oh, I'm upset because this old Chinese restaurant I used to go to, where I used to live, it was like a little small family business. But then the owner gave up the ownership, and the food just went to shit. So they
That's
had to
sad.
close down. So I was kind of upset.
It's always sad to see like the owners of the mom and pop shops, slowly pass away because then you're like, man, that business will never be the same if they ever continue.
It's horrible too. It's like I bet you that business I used to go to, they could have like expanded so well because that like if you ask anyone that used to live there, like that lives there, like they will know that place. They will like absolutely know it. Horrible to see it go away.
That's how you know a business is good when everyone speaks of it. That's crazy.
Like if you ask anyone if they want Chinese food, like everyone's going there. Like that business was popping. And they had the dope ass aquarium with a puffer fish in it.
Ah,
And it's
that's
funny
cool.
because I always try to get like to puff up by
That's really
tapping on
cool.
the glass.
The thing you're not supposed to do with fish.
Yeah, they never said anything to me, but I still did it because I'm a cool guy.
Right, right. We're cool guys that terrorizes fish in the tank.
Hell yeah.
And I think with that note, that's a good note to end off on for the podcast for this episode. Thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the podcast. I know this is different than how it usually is, and it will continue to be different for quite a few more episodes while I'm trying to start figuring everything out. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we shall be back most likely next week.